If you think cooking for cowboys is easy, wait until you hear what happened on Mason Ridge Ranch. Because one quiet morning, a simple meal turned into the moment that changed her entire life. And hey, if you love real human stories from the West, make sure you subscribe for more. Eliza Dawson didn't come to the Mason Ridge Ranch to fall in love. She didn't come for adventure either. She came because she had no other choice. After losing her mother and the small-town diner they ran together, she needed work, any work. So when the ranch owner, Mr. Hawthorne, offered her a cooking job for a group of hard-working cowboys, she packed her bags and left everything behind. The first morning started before sunrise. The sky was still painted with soft blue and orange, the kind that made you stop and breathe for a second. Eliza didn't. She was too nervous. She cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, and dropped biscuits into the oven like her life depended on it. She had cooked for years, but never for a group of strangers who woke up before dawn and spent their days wrestling cattle and riding miles of land. She expected rough men, loud men, cowboys who'd barely look her way and complain about the food. She didn't expect him. Cole Branson. He walked in just as the sun touched the horizon. Tall, quiet, hat low. He didn't smile, didn't flirt, didn't even take off his gloves at first. He just nodded politely and said, "Smells good, Mom." That was it. But somehow, it stayed with her. The other cowboys joked and laughed, filling plates high. But Cole was different. He served himself last, thanked her again, and went straight back outside like a man carrying the weight of 10 years on his shoulders. Eliza told herself not to notice him. She was here to work, not to wonder about some cowboy with tired eyes and a calm voice. But that changed around noon. She brought water to the corral where the cowboys were sorting cattle. Dust rose in golden clouds as horses circled. The heat shimmered, and Eliza was already sweating when she reached the gate. Suddenly, a young bull broke away, charging wildly toward her. Before she could move, someone grabbed her arm and pulled her behind him. Cole. He stepped in front of her like it was instinct. The bull veered off, thanks to another rider cutting it away, but Cole still didn't move. He turned to her slowly, eyes fierce with worry. "You all right?" he asked, breath rough. Eliza nodded, her heart pounding louder than the cattle. "I didn't see it coming," she whispered. He finally smiled, just a little. "That's what I'm here for." But she didn't know then that this wasn't the last time he'd have to protect her. It was only the beginning. The dust had barely settled from the charging bull when Cole finally stepped back, giving Eliza space to breathe. She expected him to tease her or lecture her or play the hero, but he didn't. He simply tipped his hat, muttered, "Be careful out here," and walked away like nothing had happened. It bothered her. How calm he was. How quickly he returned to work. How he didn't even glance back. It bothered her even more that she couldn't stop glancing his way. By the time lunchtime rolled around, the cowboys came in hungry, loud, and joking about the morning's chaos. But Cole sat alone at the far end of the long wooden table, eating quietly. Not unfriendly, just distant, like a man choosing silence over attention. Eliza carried a tray of fresh bread to the table. As she passed Cole, he finally spoke. "You cook real good," he said simply. It wasn't flirtation, it wasn't small talk, it sounded like truth, and somehow that made her feel warmer than a dozen compliments. "Thank you," she replied. He nodded once and kept eating, conversation over. For the rest of the week, that's how things went. Eliza cooked, Cole worked. She watched him sometimes, how steady he was, how the other cowboys trusted him, how he always helped the youngest hands without making a show of it. She admired him quietly and wished he'd talk more, smile more, something. But Cole Branson was a man built of quiet edges. Still, edges could cut, and eventually, Eliza felt one. On Friday afternoon, a sudden storm rolled in, fast and angry. The sky darkened, Winds snapped through the ranch and rain hammered the roofs. Eliza rushed to cover the outdoor cooking area when she saw Cole riding full speed toward the stables, leading a spooked horse by its reins. She watched him jump down, calm the animal, and guide it inside like he was whispering to it without words. Afterward, soaked to the bone, he walked toward the bunkhouse until he noticed Eliza struggling with a heavy tarp whipping in the wind. He didn't hesitate. In 2 quick strides, he was beside her. "Let go," he ordered gently. "I can handle it," she snapped back, pulling harder, her hair plastered to her face with rain. The tarp blew upward so violently that she nearly fell backward, but Cole grabbed her waist and steadied her before she hit the ground. For a moment, the storm went silent around them. His hands were warm, his breath close, his eyes locked on hers like he was noticing her for the first time. Not the cook, not the stranger, but the woman standing right in front of him. "You're stubborn," he murmured. "You're bossy," she shot back. His lips almost curved into a smile. Almost. They secured the tarp together, and when the job was done, Cole stepped back like he was forcing himself to keep distance. "You should get inside," he said softly. "Storm's getting worse." But Eliza noticed something he didn't hide fast enough. He kept looking back at her as he walked away. Like maybe the distance wasn't what he wanted anymore. The storm passed, but something between them did not. That brief moment, his hands on her waist, the way he looked at her like he was fighting something inside, stayed with Eliza long after the rain dried, and Cole felt it too. He wasn't a man who opened up easily. The Cowboys joked that he spoke 10 words a day, 15 if the horses were behaving. But over the next few mornings, Eliza noticed a small shift. He started showing up earlier. He'd linger by the kitchen doorway while she cooked. Sometimes he'd offer to help carry water buckets. Not much, but for Cole Branson, it was everything. One dawn, while she kneaded biscuit dough, he leaned against the counter and said, "Sunrise looks better from the porch. You should go see it." Eliza raised a brow. "Are you trying to get rid of me?" "No," he said quietly. "Just thought you'd like it." She stepped outside, and he followed without a word. The sky was painted orange and pink, stretching over the ranch like a blanket of fire. They stood there silently, listening to the soft hum of waking horses and distant cattle. It felt peaceful. It felt intimate. "Why do you wake up so early?" she finally asked. Cole shrugged. "Morning's quiet. Don't have to think much." "And when you do think, what do you think about?" He hesitated. His jaw tightened. Something flickered in his eyes. Something vulnerable. "About things I can't change," he said. She wanted to ask more, but he turned slightly away. She sensed that stepping too close to his past might push him farther from her present, so she let it go. But the Cowboys didn't. By lunchtime, word had spread that Cole and the new cook had a porch moment. Ranch gossip traveled faster than wildfire, and the dining cabin buzzed with teasing. "Cole, you ain't never watched no sunrise with any of us. Man woke up early. Must be love. Eliza, you better be careful. This Cowboy's heart is a dangerous thing." Cole ignored the comments, but the faintest red touched his ears. Eliza noticed it, and she liked it more than she should have. Later that afternoon, she caught him alone in the stables, brushing down a chestnut mare. "You okay?" she asked. "Fine," he mumbled. "You sure? Because you looked like you wanted to bury half the guys at lunch." He smirked. "Only 3. Their laughter blended with the soft sounds of hooves and leather. For the first time, Cole didn't seem guarded. He seemed human, warm, open. "Eliza," he said suddenly, voice lower, "you're making things complicated." She blinked. "Complicated how?" He took a slow breath, eyes locked on hers. "Because I can't stop thinking about you, and I've spent a long time trying not to feel things like that." Her heart stilled. Before she could answer, a shout echoed across the ranch. "Cole, we need you now! South fence is down!" He stepped back, jaw tight. Duty called, but he glanced at her one more time, long, meaningful, full of something that was no longer a secret. "This ain't finished," he said softly, and then he ran. Cole didn't return until well after sunset. Eliza had spent the whole day pretending not to worry, pretending his words in the stable weren't replaying in her mind, pretending she wasn't checking the horizon every few minutes. The other cowboys came and went, but Cole was still out repairing the broken south fence with a small team. By evening her nerves were stretched thin. She lit the lanterns in the cooking cabin and tried focusing on dinner prep, but every sound outside made her look up. Every horse's hoof made her step toward the window. Finally, long after the sky turned dark, she heard it. Heavy footsteps on the wooden porch. Cole walked in dusty, exhausted, shirt torn from a snagged wire and sweat drying along his jaw. But the moment he saw her, he paused, like the rest of the world went quiet. "You're back," she breathed. "I told you I would be." There was something different about him. Not just tired, troubled. She walked closer, catching the tension in his shoulders, the stiffness in his movements. "What happened out there?" He didn't answer at first. He leaned against the table, rubbing the back of his neck, eyes low. "Eliza, I wasn't honest with you earlier," he finally said, "about why I don't let myself get close to people." Her heartbeat kicked up. He took a slow breath, lifting his eyes to hers. "I lost someone a few years back, someone I cared about. It made me think I wasn't meant for anything more, so I built walls. High ones." Her chest tightened, not with fear, but with tenderness. "And now?" she asked softly. He shook his head, almost frustrated. "Now you're here, and every day you knock a hole in those walls without even trying." Eliza felt something warm and deep settle inside her. She stepped closer, close enough to smell dust and cedar on his shirt. "Cole, caring about someone isn't weakness," she whispered. "It's what keeps us human." He swallowed hard. "I don't want to lose someone again." "You haven't even let yourself have anyone to lose," she replied. For a long moment, silence wrapped around them like the soft night air outside. Then Cole exhaled, a slow, surrendering breath. "Eliza, I want you. I want this. I just don't know how to do it right." She reached up, gently touching the side of his face. "Then we figure it out together." His eyes closed at her touch, like he'd been holding that moment back for too long. When he opened them again, the fear was still there, but so was something stronger. Desire, hope, and the courage to try. He leaned in, not rushing, not bold, just honest. Their foreheads touched first. Then his hand slid to her waist, pulling her gently toward him. The kiss was slow, steady, full of everything he couldn't say in words. The lantern flickered, the night hummed softly, and two hearts found a place to rest. When they finally pulled apart, Cole smiled, really smiled. "Guess cookin' for Cowboys wasn't such a bad job after all," he murmured. Eliza laughed against his chest. "No," she whispered. "It's the best thing that ever happened to me." And for the first time in a long time, Cole Branson believed that maybe, just maybe, he deserved a good thing too.